Well, Mozhan and I have known each other. We met at the, doing a theater program at Chautauqua when we were 18 years old. And we were roommates and stayed friends after that because we were both going to school in New York City. And a couple summers ago, she knew that she was going to be spending the summer in New York because she was doing a play, because she acts as well as writes and directs. And she was going to be staying with me in my apartment, and she wanted to make a film, and she kind of wrote this for the two of us, and wrote it for the space. I think she sort of looked around the apartment and looked outside and saw what she could use, and then came up with this really sort of nice little story.
I think because we both have sort of intimate relationship with her, a lot of the material came out of what she knows about us, and like you say, out of the space. So I think that's it was just an interesting way to work, because the story was sort of born out of the situation that the film was arising out of, which I think definitely created a lot of personal connection to the story and little quirks and details that we know about each other that she sort of sprinkled in even as we went, which was just a lot of fun. I've actually never had an experience like that, where it was so open and improvisatory at times, but like connected to, you know, the little quirks that we know about each other.
Yeah, and it was a really sort of tight group. I mean, it was just a few of us making this film.
I feel like I mean, maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but like they're two people who are in different ways at the end of their rope, who just happen to deal with it in kind of opposite ways, you know. And I feel like I mean, what I enjoy most about the film, I think, is that it doesn't try to tell too complete a story, which I think is really tricky with shorts. It's sort of like, I remember reading it and being like, it almost like tests the boundaries of like what qualifies as a story, because it's really just the beginning of something, and nothing is like completed in over the course of the film, and I really like that. I think it's...
Yeah, the event of the film is very subtle. I mean, it's not, there's not really action, there's not really movement.
So not necessarily, on paper, in no way being like a good match, necessarily, and romantically or otherwise, you know, and I don't know, that's the thing, like, it's sort of these things that sort of sneak in through the back door that, you know, we would sort of clamp down on if we sort of saw it coming, I think is like a big part of the movie, and why it is that these two characters are able to connect with each other.
I think she's somebody who's been sort of living like sort of in a self-imposed exile in a way. Like, she's isolated herself, and seems to be afraid of making connections with people, and afraid of opening herself up and sort of, you know, enjoying life and being sort of a full and happy and, you know...
We call that wallowing in our misery.
Yeah. People have had really different reactions.
Yeah.
Some people feel like they're going to get involved romantically and they're going to be, you know, this is the beginning of a romantic relationship. And some people feel like, no, it's just, you know, like a friendly connection, you know, between two lonely people. I didn't really have an idea of where they were at. I just sort of wanted it to sort of...
Just be.
Yeah, just be, and be something that was a little ambiguous, because I think that that's where they're at.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where so many things start, so many, you know, friendships, relationships. There's that ambiguous moment right at the beginning where you're not sure where you want it to go, you're not sure where they want it to go, and I feel like that's a delicious moment, I think.
Yeah, the potential in that is exciting.
Oh, what he really is saying is that character just at least wanted to have sex with her before it was over, right?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, guys, come on, seriously?
Who cares if there's a relationship or love? At least let's just do it once, right?
Right.
Sex sells.